Hello, hello. Wow, I gotta say this microphone is really good. I have a microphone here, and it's like I have the music really low. I had it really high before, and I was talking, and it was really low. So it's, I didn't think it was that good. So market, as we expected, gap down a bit, but not that much. I'm gonna do MNQ just in case. A little small gap there. Gold pump a bit. Oil. So I'm trying to figure it out. I think they did attack the grid because there's a blackout in Iran. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. We have to figure that out. You guys still hear the music? I've been getting I've been putting the I haven't I wasn't putting the music correctly, so I had to credit the artist here, the non copyright. Still had to credit them and stuff. So now I did that. So hopefully we shouldn't have an issue. I have it really low. Still more lower? You think? It was really loud earlier. Maybe I'll move the microphone there. I have it so low here that I could barely hear myself, and the microphone picks it up really good. I didn't even know. Maybe change the gain. Yeah, it's crazy. It's already open, guys. Osfire, it's already open. Chevron says damage at weeks long. Thanks for that. Keep bringing me info, please. Chevron says damage at Wheatstone LNG will hamper restart. Good news for VG Venture Global stock. So gold keeps on catching there. Let's see what we can find of news. So Brent oil rises 3.3%, $116 a barrel. That's Brent oil. As Houthis join the war, so now there's more people joining the war on their side, on the Iran side. Yep. Brent crude is really pumping. It's not good for the U.S. What did you do on Friday, Rob? You got something? You bought something? Trying to capture the sound. Carter Ross look on energy plant got damaged. They said 3 to 4 years of repairs. 20% of oil comes from there. No, no. So futures opens at 6. So all futures opens at 6, and then 8 p.m. will be the Asian market comes on. So Asia starts trading. So anybody could start trading at 6, but if you want to call it that, at 8 p.m. is where the Asia session begins. But futures overnight starts, I guess, at 6 because that's the opening of futures markets. And then, so you have Australia already trading, and then from there, so I'll show you something here real quick. So if you see here, we have Sydney is already trading. See, for them is 9 a.m. Then Tokyo comes on at 7:17 local time theirs, but it would be 8 p.m. our time. Then London says 3 a.m. my time, but it's actually 2 a.m. And then 8 a.m. 9 a.m. is a New York session. See what we got for tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Fed speaks. I wonder where is he going to speak at? Due to participation in a moderate discussion at Harvard University. So he's been talking in Harvard. So they always put a red folder because he might say something that could just they're always watching him to see what he's saying. Because the market's always watching to see what he says, because if he says something in particular that they weren't expecting, which he's very good at that. He's very careful with that. But if he says something for some reason that they were just not hearing before, it could affect the market. You're saying as soon as the thread of the street. Yep. Very bad news for Zuck. But I dropped a lot. Yeah. It was interesting because I always watch the Max 7, and I was watching everything drop, but from the very beginning of the morning, it was just dropping and dropping, and then everything was kind of like bouncing a little bit, chopping a bit before dropping more, and Meta just kept going down, down, down. It was crazy. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, we're really down. So if I'm actually kind of so far so good, the way the market opened, it didn't continue. It didn't. It gapped down, but it wasn't a huge gap, and it hasn't continued to go down. I mean, it's only 6:20, right? It's only been 20 minutes, but let's see what happens when Asia comes on and all that. But so far, that's good news because maybe everything they priced in this over the weekend. So when the market prices in what they were expecting over the weekend, then maybe this is the price where they want it at. Then tomorrow would be a nice bounce, a recovery, because we're pretty far down. If this is that chart that I created of an inverse parabola there, how it was curving. So look at, we hit September lows here. This is September and August lows. Now next, and we went low. We went even lower than that. So now we have 618.29, which would be the July and August lows if we continue to break down. Or we could have a little pop there. You see there was a little gap left yesterday. Maybe fill that gap. I don't think we're going up high again, but maybe we'll just go up to make a higher low and then go lower, right? Yeah, I kind of just created that parabola because it's pretty interesting the way it was curving so much. The inverted parabola, it was curving so much. You can tell, right, that. So sometimes if it's respecting those that parabolic kind of type of move, then maybe when we get to these levels here, you might find some resistance as well. So here we go. ES and Nasdaq trying to fill the gap there, the little gap it created. I think it pretty much did. Oh no, it's right here. So let's see if they just tap that and then drop lower, or if it chops there. VG, Venture Global, Industrial Oil and Gas Pipelines. This is nice. Venture Global. It's good to know. Look at that. Buy, buy, buy. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. PB. I don't know. I can't say your name good, but yeah. Thanks. I didn't know that. I'm new to the oils game, so but that's good. I'm gonna keep it here on my watch list to watch it. Do they have options, right? Interesting. Okay. Yes, nice. I'll be watching that. All right. So NQ about to fill this gap, the opening gap.
Someone is at front door.
Oh, sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. have a. Oh no, playing other music. I can't have that. So, what have you? A 15-minute? That's why. So NQ almost filled it there. Just came into the little gap and is dropping it. Let's see. I think it will chop there. Cool. Thanks for joining. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. I don't know why I couldn't do the repeat there. So this is gold here at the right, left oil, NQ, which is the Nasdaq derivative, and the ES or the MES, which is the S&P 500 derivative. Yeah, it looks like we're having a nice little. So gold is. Let me open it. All right. You see how we much clearer now? Neither. So gold is looking for a double top here at 45521. I'll extend this. All right. Or maybe I'll do this better. I'll just right at the high there. Come on. I'm gonna put an alert there. So if it breaks, it'll alert us. I do stuff like this just to, since it's a very short term, like little trend that is forming there, I just like to watch that. Let's see what we have also on. All this UFO news too. It's either that or UFOs. Breaking: the U.S. is allowing a Russian tanker carrying 730,000 barrels of oil to reach Cuba, easing an energy blockade. That so wow, they're gonna let them take them. They're gonna let them deliver oil to Cuba. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So the Coast Guard's two cutters nearby received no orders to intercept. The White House hasn't explained why. Trump said last week Cuba is next. Today he let Russia resupply it. It's like one thing. Damn, that's terrible. They've been without light for so long, without energy. Elon, I would bet. I think they went at they something happened. I think he told something. I would be the Democrats have controlled the Senate. They will break the filibuster, pack the Supreme Court. I'm not getting into that. Ukraine bombed Russia's second largest oil refinery. Yeah, we almost forgot that Ukraine was still fighting Russia. All right, what do we got here? Iran had the exact location of U.S. Air Force E-3 Sentry. Oh, then this will continue to be that same playlist. All right, so they did this. This is almost $1 billion aircraft. Wow, $1 billion aircraft. That the U.S. has only 16 total. The strike showed U.S. can't defend all fronts and can be exposed. Of course. Huge persecution flood in Brazil beach. Wow, that's cool. Again with this, it is claimed that Iranians' air defense are using light objects that look like missiles to deceive them and make them fire. Oh, that's interesting. If they like just shoot up like kind of like to fake a missile or something, and then make Israel or U.S. shoot their missiles into the air and just waste waste their ammunition or whatever. That would be crazy. Oh my god, this can't be real. Tonight's weather event in Dubai was truly chilling. It brings to mind. Wow, have you guys ever seen something like that? That can't be real. Oh lord. We don't believe anything anymore, right? You see things now and everything is either AI, you think it's AI or something else. But that doesn't look real. Here in Florida, we got some crazy thunderstorms in the rain season. Now we did have once a storm like that, with like a lot of lightning. It was crazy. It was just like that, like flashing. Oh, if you guys can, this is my where is it? That's my Twitter handle. If you guys wanna, you know, like and subscribe. I think some of you are from X anyway. Today we got more from YouTube. But there we have I have my my Booger algo. And then we have that the partnership with Prop Shop Trader, which has been going pretty cool for me so far. First day I had some issues with the understanding the system, the charting, and I think I had problems with the data. So I had a pretty big drawdown, like 800 or something. And then after that, I've had a good trading week. I'll show you guys if you want. They have a pretty nice dashboard too. So look, let me take this out of there and make sure there's none of my information on here. All right, there you go. So there you go. Those are my trading week last week. Just base hits. I got a couple bigger trades. This was that first day that I had the big drawdown. Then here I had, because they want you to do just you know uh minimum 125 a day, so you could get a benchmark for the week. So I didn't realize it, and I just started just doing base hits after that. But this week I might do the same. I might try to get 300 to 400 a day to try to get that 3,000 mark. But there's a prop firm that we're working with now, prop shop, and they have prop also for stocks. So that was that first day that I started trading in it, and I wasn't I was just kind of like figuring it out, and I was taking a lot of trades and just like getting in. But that's that. Okay, looks like it's trying to come back to the where that gap is, and it just can't stay up here. We have to see. We're probably getting an injection by the evening. What did you ask? Are you El Chapo of the stock market by any chance? I'm glad that Peter's not here listening to you because Peter always messes with me. El Chapo of the stock market. I don't know. I'm Rob Data Warrior of the stock market. I love data. That's why it says Rob Data Warrior. That's like my little nickname, my internet name, because I love data. Data is important to me. That's why when I started trading, since I've been in IT for all my life. I'm a technologist, engineer, so I ended up just understanding the wanting to learn more how what are EMAs, what is ADX, what is RSI, what is MACD, and then when I learned that, I just started creating my own tools, right? And I still create my own tools. Like I have my website bbalgo.com. Like I have a section that's just for me where I that's where I get my data dumps and options data and all this other stuff. So I have a lot of my own tools that I create. So gold keeps see how that it creates this pivot there, and look at how it respects that pivot. Boom, 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 boom. Now it's turning over, so that means that it's just not fine. It can't break out of it. So maybe it's gonna come back, test this 90 MA, or maybe test again where it broke out here. It'll retest here and see. But these are usually signs of weakness. Same here, right? Oil opened, ripped up a bit, then again, double top there, little small double top, and then it's trying and it drops. So, but it's very early. It's very early, still 6:40. Let's see the overall market how it's looking, right? So we're in a strong demand zone on the 4 hour, as you can see here. Let's see, when was the last time this was created? So this demand zone was created on September 3rd, and then the one below it was July 31st. So these were hit. This was a strong, demand zone there. Respected it again, and it created a stronger one overlapping it. So there's a strong area of buying here. So if you notice, it dips right back in here, and it's doing the same thing. So we could definitely still dip down a bit more, right? And then pop, but we're in a strong 4 hour demand zone. So that might be good. I mean, look at this. Look at this drop. You know, top viewers. at Hot Trades top viewers. I don't know what that is. Sorry, but oh, you're from Twitch. Nice, but I don't know what that is. You're the only one from Twitch. I don't think a lot of people. There's not a lot of um trading streamers right on Twitch. So this is like all been selling hard. Let's see if we could come back up to this golden pocket of the Fibonacci levels here. Yeah, now it's working. Uh-oh. I think it's dropping again. So here we go. It's dropping here. We could double bottom here, drop more. Yeah, it should be doing the same thing. Yep. I might mark this 4-hour demand. We're in it already, so let's mark this here. All those red stripes there are demand zones. The darker they are, the stronger they are. Supply zone, sorry. We have see how this golden pocket Fibonacci level is lined up with a nice supply zone. 50 is going right. The 200 also is moving into it. So this is a nice area, right, for resistance, strong resistance. We're on a bigger time frame downtrend. So definitely, if this for some reason pops tonight, this is going to be a nice level to short to see if this just is this is if this is just going to become a higher low. A lower high. The same thing for the ES. Let me see where I have this configured. Previous day, previous day. Yeah, the daily low is good. Is it? Well, I mean, it's retesting, Christian. That point I said here that where it broke out. So usually where there was, you see there was a pivot here, double top here. Usually where there's a breakout, price always wants to come back and retest this area because then it creates an area of structure here, right? So it can go higher. So what can happen here is that comes back to retest and then we break up again or we break down. And then definitely this is a breakdown again. And it's just showing us that we're going to be chopping in this area and in these, you see, I look at these pivots, right? So this pivot will be like our trading range for now. You always want to look at that. You want to look at pivots, because pivots will tell you either in a lower time frame, higher time. Obviously, the higher the pivots, the more important they are in a way. But a shorter time frame also, if you're trading, like intraday trading, scalping, you always want to see those pivots because that's creating your range. That's creating where the high that it created recently and the recent low, right? So then now you have your trading range. So now you know if it breaks down again, you're gonna find support here on this 3-minute chart or 5-minute chart. It's gonna find some support here. You see, and then it might just come back up again and then reject here. So now you sell here, buy here until it doesn't work. So right now, a good short would be if this tries to break up again and it doesn't, you take that drop down. Here, oil's doing the same thing. Oil pop is trying to create like this little handle here, and if it comes here and it rejects, then this is a good area for it to short. And oil has definitely it's inversely correlated with with the equities market, which is ES and Nasdaq. So when this is popping, you're gonna see weakness in the ES and the NQ. And gold has been moving a little bit with the equities actually this time. You're welcome, Christian. Yeah. So you guys, anybody here trades futures? Starting to trade, want to learn? Just what are your what are you guys? Why are you here? You like futures? You want to learn? Like, talk to me. We have here. But as a swing trade for this week, you think is unreasonable to go short? I think yeah, I think we're pretty far down. So I would bet the higher. Let's talk about probabilities. The probabilities and where it is at the moment is much the higher probability of it catching a little bounce. Now the bounce might not be a the reversal, right, the reversal for the market, but it's definitely, everything has to, nothing goes down forever and nothing goes up forever, right? That's why you have those swings like that, right? Those trends. So it makes a it's on the way up. If it's on an uptrend, so you make a higher high, then a higher low. It makes a low here but higher than the other low. And now we're on the opposite, right? We're going down. So now we make a low, then a higher low, and then down again and down again. So this could be, tomorrow could be a little reversal. It can happen overnight. That's why I like futures, right? Because overnight, if it happens overnight, then guess what? Then definitely you might have a swing trade tomorrow down, because if it goes back up to a major level, right? On a on overnight, then and it's pumping, then maybe you might have that short to make a lower low again. Make sense? Um, Don's car. Yes, Lex Future. Yeah, cool. Cool. I hope you learn. I hope I get to teach you guys something. More than anything, we like to teach here, and then obviously teaching you is much better, right? So yeah, exactly. Trump tacos. Yep, yep. I actually sold some puts on Friday evening, right before the close, just to see if we get a reversal on Monday, or tonight, and it gaps up tomorrow. Then I can probably get out of those, buy them back, at a profit. Now, if it drops, I'm cooked. But it's fine because I did it with Nvidia. So if Nvidia drops more, I'm just gonna get it at a good price. So thanks. Yeah. So I'm here. I'm here to teach you guys. I wanna, you know, we like to teach. One thing is to give signals and buy here, sell there, but you're not learning anything, right? So by learning, guess what? You take that with you anywhere you go. If I'm not ever online, if you don't, I mean, I exhort you to join Hot Trade so you can have a good community. But if you're on your own and you just want to, at least you learn something and you can put it to practice, right? I wish I had that when I was learning. It was crazy. I had to like struggle a lot, and then a million YouTube videos, a million furus, whatever you call them, furus, the fake gurus that are out there, that they get paid a whole bunch of money by others just to show something, and then I'm like, oh god. So we do cover those, but during the day. So the we have this hot trades is like a so hot trades has been out for a bit, and the creator is Blaze. Blaze is during the day. He trades momentum stocks, and then during the day, he's more moving momentum stocks and the movers. But if SoFi is a mover, or you guys want to talk about it, you just mention it on the live, and he'll show you the chart. And then if you're in the Discord, then in Discord we have a channel for futures, we have a channel for options, we have a momentum channel, legend, what they call just the regular stock legend channel. Then we have a channel for long term portfolios. Um, we have a swing channel for swing plays. So we have a bit of everything. We have a bit of everything. But the key here is that markets have patterns, and every time when the market is in extreme fear, which it is now, is usually great times to buy. Right, good companies. Okay, good companies. Um, because if you look at every time, if you go back into a daily chart, a weekly chart, and you see the times where the market was in extreme fears, um, the reversals were like great with 30-40%, gains that you could have gotten, so don't sell at the bottom like retail does, like what they call dumb money does, because all what's happening is that we're all selling, and the big boys are buying, and then they take it up for a big profit. And then that's when you hear in the news, or in some channels, where they say, well, some of their best profits were in the worst times of the market, right? VIX is low, that is good or bad? When the VIX is high, is that good or bad? Yeah, good question. So VIX is the volatility index, and usually the way the VIX works, and I watch it, it's part of my trading strategy now. I watch the VIX. VIX over 20 is already a volatile. It's fear. There's fear in the market, and usually the market, what it does is that there's more selling in a more volatile market because there's more fear. So then the higher it is, I mean, it goes to show you the kind of like, how they call oversold, overbought, like in an RSI. Well, VIX is like the threshold is 20 more or less. It was at 31, 32 on Friday and the day before, and Thursday. So imagine how high it was. So when the VIX is up, just look at this rule. When the VIX is high, it brings pressure to equities, and then they usually drop. And then when the VIX is low, that's a sign for that there's more it's what is it or what they say in the markets, they say it's risk on, right? They'll take more risk. There'll be more risk taken because there's less volatility. So if the market's just moving, flowing, you know to different levels based on technicals, then that's a great time to trade and people get in. So VIX low, the market usually does better, and when the VIX is high, it brings a lot of pressure to the market. Correct. Correct. Even great companies will solve. That's right. Especially great companies, because I mean, and it all depends also, right? So you have I think it was yourself. You were mentioning VG, right? So these other companies had, but since the market is moving towards energy, because that's the only thing, that's the only place where there's demand, right? So then the money can flow there, and that's why you see those moving. So it depends on the. You can watch this. Certain sectors. Some sector will find. That's why I think the market would have dropped even harder, but it didn't because the energy sector was up. The S&P energy, part of the sector was up, so that kept the market a bit, from crashing harder. It is. It's the volatility index. Yeah, cruise line stocks. I think they crashed too. I think they've been getting hurt lately as well. All right, so left us a pivot there. What does that mean? Or I mean, that's the bottom of the range so far. So now we watch this. This is our new floor, and we keep watching that. That's the new floor that the algo's leaving. We watch that. Fuel prices and employment up hurts improvement. Yes, yeah, and that's why especially fuel prices, and then fear, security, right? The government on top of that, they're not passing that whatever it is that bill they're trying to pass. So what happens? TSA. I think now Trump said that he's going to do some type of executive order to pay the TSA this week or something like that. So that might bring a little more. It's going to bring more chaos to these dummies in Washington, but at least it's going to bring some peace a little to the airports, maybe. So the travel agency might pick up again, because then I need to travel soon, and I was thinking like I don't think I'm gonna travel because I'm not gonna be 5 hours in a freaking line because these idiots. I know. I really hope all this gets just taken care of, because then it will be a nice summer, especially for businesses, around the U.S. Especially that in the U.S., Canada, wherever there, it's gonna be Mexico as well. Yep. I hope all this gets resolved by then. Okay, so oil dropping, which means that we might, I mean, not dropping, but it's not, it's kind of like creating a little trend here. Same thing with gold. So this might bring a little strength to the equities here. But like I said, all this area here is going to be, so this 78.6 level and this downtrend is our first area of resistance, and this is our second area of resistance. And this is a great area to probably go short on an intraday, right? Overnight. Let's see. But we have a lot of resistance on the way up. 7 p.m. And no, right now we're about to, yep, 7. There's a helium shortage also, yeah, which is not good because of a lot of semiconductor, yeah. Yeah, I think I heard that the other day as well, yeah. I know. I know, man. I know. It is. We got to know how to trade that. How to make it work in your favor. That's all we could do. Find those sectors, that are working, that are not working, and then either, you know, buy if the inverse ETFs that they have against them, or if you trade options, buy puts on them. After a certain recover, after a small pump. So always when you're in a downtrend, so if you look at here, you see this big downtrend here, you always want to sell the high that it creates. So if this creates a high here on this downtrend, or maybe if it's following an EMA, like this is the 50. So the closest it gets to the 50, you see all the other ones didn't. It finally comes up here. So now you want to short that and you want to continue. Then it goes up again. You short up in this area. You short up in this area because all it's doing is creating lower highs, right? So those are the areas where you want to short. Even if you're just scalping, it works on a bigger time frame, like it works on a smaller time frame. So oil definitely dropping here. Um, I mean, I don't want to talk a lot about stocks on this channel, but on this live, but well, this is slow. We can. I'll show you. Let me see. Look at that. Wow, that's nasty. Holy cow. So here we got demand zones there. If you want to take pictures of these demand zones, or if you want to get the algo yourself, you can get it on at bbalgo.com. So I'll put that up there. If you want to get the algo so you can see chart like mine, you go there. So you see these nice little demand zones there you're getting and the 4 hour. I'll just go to the daily and see what we see. So here's a daily pivot. So definitely 480 is a target. Just 480.50. So 480.50. But then, so I would do something like this, right? I always like to do this my daily. So I'll do this. I just draw a line there. Then I'll go to my 4 hour, a little lower. And you see how that lines up with these smaller demand zones? So this demand zone is important. Right below 500, it should find some support there. And we'll see. That's now we go into what's called price discovery mode, right? So it just keeps dropping. And if it comes here and it finds, but then it breaks below, so it's still trying to find buyers, right? Where's the strongest buyer? Here is a stronger demand zone, it's darker. So this is another area that we have 460. So 460, four, like you said, 475 ish, so a little higher. But I would say that the line in the sand is after 500 is 480, and then after 480 is 460. That work? So definitely those are good areas to try to take a swing trade. Good. So those are definitely good areas to try to get a swing trade there. Apple has fallen the least. Exactly. Microsoft and Meta seem to have gone hit the. Yep. Microsoft especially too. Google next and Amazon second. Yeah, and if you notice, that's the Max 7. So that's how I trade. If you saw that layout I had the seven, all seven of them, because usually that's how you know. So I'll give you guys a tip there. Let me take this out the way. So let me give you guys a tip there. Usually, when you're looking at correlation in the market, those are the most heavily weighted, right? In the ES and the Nasdaq, that's the Max 7. So what happens is that if you see some like you just mentioned, that are really oversold, but then the other ones are haven't dropped as much, but the market has dropped a lot. Guess what? The market could drop even more. You know why? Because those other 3 out of the 7, let's say, or 4 out of the 7 haven't dropped right as much or as hard. So guess what? Then that means that when those drop, then it will take the market even lower, right? So that's to me is a sign now when they're all bottomed out. Now that might be a sign of a bottom as well. So just keep that in mind. There gold took a little boot, and then here we popped. Still haven't filled the gap from the open at 6. So here we're forming a little choppy chop. Oh, and gold is dropping now. Now gold is dropping. You see, because it's dropping and it's also fast. Yeah, that's how it usually is. People borrowing against their 401k. Well, I mean, I would say the smarter people should be doing that. The should be saving their cash so they can buy these dips. I wouldn't go all in right now because if it goes a little lower, then you keep putting in. So if you have $10,000, let's say, maybe go in 30%. You put 3,000, another 3,000 or 3,333, and then another 333, and then another. You keep going down a little. Dollar cost averaging a little lower, but I wouldn't go all in right now just in case because there's still room for downside. Yeah, that as well. And those leverage people, that's why sometimes when those people that are leveraged, that's why the market sometimes have those V-shaped recoveries because they really liquidate people on the way up really hard. So you might that's you trap, that's called a trap, right? So let's say you're going short here because you expect for it to go even lower, and then you get like this move all of a sudden that does this, you know, and then it continues up as hard as it can, but it's still on a higher time frame. It's still, it might have gotten really, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 hours, maybe or a whole day of just pumping, and then it'll dump again, right? But during that pump up, those leveraged those people that are leveraged are getting liquidated. They can't, they can't hold it anymore, so they have to get out, and that's why it squeezes, right? They have to get out how? By buying, right? If they were selling, if they were short. So that's what the market is, and it does it on every level, on a higher time frame, like on a lower time frame. If it has a lot of leveraged sellers, in a higher time frame, then guess what? You might have a that daily candle or 2 days of just V-shaped recovery, and then it just goes right back down, which makes a higher low. Right. So what are we seeing here on the short since the open? It created a little floor here and a little ceiling right there, right where the last pivot was. So the wicked in, and dropped, and then it's just staying in here. Same thing for the ES. So it's we're gonna have something like this. So it either breaks out or breaks down. But this could be consolidation, for it to give a nice pump overnight. We'll see. I mean, I'm more bullish right now on the shorter time frame. I'm more bullish because I think at some point, we're pretty overextended, so they might pump it just overnight. Oh, okay. VCX fund from 60 to 570, now back to 160, supposed to have all the private companies like SpaceX. Okay. I don't know. I don't know much about that fund either. Good evening, Robert. Would you please look at NVIDIA using BBL on the 4 hour? Okay, okay. Oh, sorry about that. Strong demand here. Wow, this is pretty low. So let's see if we find any pivots here. It broke these major pivots. That's nasty. Okay, so we got a pivot here. And this was a strong move up. So we have a pivot here at 16407. Actually, let me just do this better. Okay, and then the next top of the demand zone is there at 15720 something. Yep, and it's oversold. Yeah, yeah, we're in a good level for it to maybe, I mean, we're not too far. Why not just dump a little more or gap down overnight? Tap this 4 hour and then come back up, right? But you see what I'm saying? Look at the move that this can do, right? Look at the move that this can do. Maybe let me just do this better. Look at the move that this can do, right? Right? Test that break of structure, then rip up, right? And look at how it would be liquidating people there. But we're still on a downtrend. So right here at 170, I don't know, 178 ish, if you want to call it, it can again come right back down to make a lower low, right? Because it wouldn't have made a higher, it wouldn't have broken here, this pivot. So it'll break below here and then it'll go lower low. But still, this move up is a good move, if you're swinging. But if you're in a longer term play and you're short, they can take you out here. See, so they take you out here to then drop it more. And that's the way the market is. Yeah, I'm hoping on that. I sold some Nvidia puts on Friday, so I'm hoping on that. I'm hoping that this will, even if it gaps down tonight and then pops up, tomorrow strong. And this move up is where I'll be, collecting my profits there off of that put that I sold. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know in the channel tomorrow if how did that go work for me. You're under, yeah, yeah, good. I am too. I have my longer term portfolio. My average is lower, so that's good. I mean, so then what does that? If that's your long term portfolio, right? That's just you buying it for the long term. Because if it is, then what are you gonna do when it gets back there? Are you gonna add more? What's what are you gonna do there? Cool. Very good. Very cool. Oh, swings. Okay. Okay. Nice. So you gotta wait for that. You're like me. You're waiting for that bounce. If you get that bounce, it'll be nice. Yeah. Let me Oh wait. I'll do it over here. Let's send the X post that I'm live to see if that brings more people on. Welcome, Paula. Paula, for you. So, in reality, guys, we haven't moved anywhere. You see, we haven't done much even on both. Pumped a bit, oil and gold. This gap down a bit, but it hasn't done much. We should see something happen at 8 p.m. I hope we don't hear anything crazy over in the news. Hopefully overnight. I mean, for any of you that are in trades tonight, always be, especially if you're doing like some swing trade or something, put your stop. Put your stop and your profit target somewhere, and just be careful because if overnight something happens and it drops more, then if you're short, great, it's gonna work for you. But if something new, some good news happens, it'll rip up, right? So just make sure you have your stop set. I used to do that a lot. I would find some targets maybe before going to bed, and I would just put a trade like let's say I stay here, let's say, and by 10 p.m. I still see this just in the same area and it hasn't dropped more. I would probably take a long, right, and then I'll put a stop. I'll put a stop below the pivot somewhere, and then I'll put my profit, somewhere up here, and I'll just let it run overnight. If it goes up, it worked. If it doesn't, then it'll just stop me out because this is the direction I'm not going, right? If I'm going long. Never be afraid to get in a trade. As long as that, you gotta have your stop. Just that the mind doesn't like to feel that it lost or that it got stopped out, but you gotta change that mindset. Oh, Padish, no, but I'm talking about futures. In futures, you can put the market is open right now in futures, so you can put stops. Yeah, you can on futures, Padish. I don't know if that was your question. Guys, I'm not gonna keep on. I hope one or two with the stocks, and then everybody's gonna keep asking me. I don't wanna. I don't want this to turn into a stock thing. But come tomorrow morning, trust me, at 9, Blaze will be online, and then have him. Just let him know where you at in that trade if you're in the trade, and then he'll give you some technical analysis during the day. Okay, I don't wanna. Because if not, I'll be stuck here. I know everybody will keep on asking me, and we'll be all night just looking at tickers. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thanks for understanding. Yeah. You guys still hearing the music? It sounds so low here, but the microphone is like catches a lot. Yeah, so Pellish, yeah, you can put a stop in futures overnight. Hmm? It's SI, sir. Right. So definitely it's also on the downtrend. Got some small little supply zones, which in silver is actually significant, right? So, and this is pretty low. I don't think it's gonna go there. I mean, if it does, damn, that'll be terrible. I mean, yeah, these swings have been nasty. I would say 50 to 47 is a nice area, and in silver, it's SLV. It's the same. You like because silver would also be uh, um a stock. So I don't want to go into that publish, but I could tell you here in futures silver. You know, dang that gold. The gold is looking weak here. If it doesn't break this supply, this small lower time frame supply, and it breaks this 200, we're dropping. Gold is looking so much better to trade if you ask me. But um, these platforms are not letting you trade gold right now. Metals, most of them. Apex wasn't letting me. Then yes, SLV is tied to like silver futures. It's similar, yeah. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm trying to. Oh, can you give me that in the freezer? Hmm. Drop it now. Yeah, we're still. I mean, it's just small little moves, but remember, we have to stay above this thrust music. We have to stay above this pivot, okay? Okay. Ooh, it's nice and cold. Ooh, very cold. More straw. Yeah, we'll see. 8 o'clock should be. We'll see what happens there. Ooh, cold. So let me get a 5 minute on the gold. Just because that 200 is like right there, it should be a little lower on the 5 minute. Yeah. So this 5 minute is the gold cliff. This is the cliff for gold right now. If it taps and breaks down, we should be dropping back to fill this imbalance it left. Gold left. Okay. So then if gold breaks this, we have a supply zone right under it, and then from that right back down to the 4408 or 4400, which is a key level for gold. What did you short? Gold? Nothing here. Let me take this over. I hate when that happens. Yeah, it's not doing it. Time, anything. Crosshairs on anything. Oh, mm. Sorry. Oh, okay. So, all right. So we have a trade on. We have a trade on with one of our watchers. So let's help you out, Christian. Let's just watch. So remember, you're gonna find here either an impulse down or it should find some support here. There goes that impulse. Oh, everything is dropping a bit. Whoa. All right. This is not this change of character can happen with the new candle. So you're doing good, Christian, if you're still in that. Scissors. Are you still in that trade? Move your stop. Remember, you're gonna find some support here. We got the 200. You got the 200 and you got the pivot. So if you get a new green candle here, I don't know where you were short from, but just be careful because gold could shoot back up and you're gonna give some back. But if it breaks down here, you're you're good. But remember, you see the 200 right there. Look what it did. Tap the 200 and found buyers. Pivot, found buyers. So it's a strong area. That's fine. I mean, if you're you as long as you know how to you respect your mental stop loss or wherever you know you got to get out at. I just want you to see the levels here, right, on the chart. You know the algo showing. You see it tap the 200 right there perfectly. You have pivot, nice little demand zone there. So it's struggling there. Let's see if it drops more down. But yeah, so you hedge. So you have your own. You're not doing prop, right? You're doing like your own account. Silver caught a bit here. Silver needs to come back in here and break out. If not, it's gonna drop here. NQ testing the pivot. ES didn't quite go as low. Long on gold from 51483 and still yeah, okay, good. Because you can't do that in prop firms. Thank you. From 4.8, that was from 4.8, 40. You're getting paid, sir. You are getting paid. You don't have a target then, Christian? You just write it down. Oh boy, this is looking. What's going on with this? Let me connect my broker so maybe the data is all. Let me move this here real quick up so I can log in. Whoa. Oh, shoot, I hate this. Give me a second. Excuse me. Yeah, because the data was like glitching, so I don't know if it was that. Um, Usually when you connect it to the broker, you start, it syncs with their data. Silver's trying. Gold is on that cliff, Christian. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. That was a really good trade, especially if it can drop to like that 4,400. Keeps finding support around this area. All right, let's see what oil is gonna do. Yeah, that'll be crazy. I don't think it'll go under 4,000 though. That'll be. We have more people on the week. I don't know if also since I start early at 6, maybe more people coming on later, but I don't think I'll be in that late though. I like to do the open because sometimes if something is there's crazy something happening in the market. I mean in the geopolitical world, then the market might open up kind of like So I want to do the open just in case. Then I'll be here tomorrow again, but at the Open of Asia session, so around 8. I really hope though that this doesn't keep escalating more. When you mentioned the Olympics, the what is it, the World Cup and everything. There's a lot of good things to take, to look forward to, right, in the summer, and it'll be nice if we don't have all this craziness happening. Excuse me. So the Houthis join Iran conflict. I don't know if you guys heard also the rumors that they want to do maybe might I mean might be a conspiracy right now, but they might do like those energy lockdowns. But there's been a lot of like everything they're saying is moving towards that. If you see here, look, the world will have to dramatically reduce its oil and gas consumption, but not before prices spike. So what is that telling us? That some they're gonna the government's gonna start making some moves to maybe restrict certain things. There goes there. Look, cruise influencers make 300 a year attracting. Oh my god, that would be amazing, huh? Just to be an influencer going on cruises and getting paid for it. Well, all right, guys. Let me see. Look at that spike down and up again. It got bought up. I was born in '77. What happened in '76? That was the. Okay, I will. What should we have learned from the 1970s oil crisis played out? History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, right? See this? Keeps finding some buyers there. There's a buyer there that keeps buying it up there. This is the '70s, so I guess it was in the. There's some volatility coming in now, moving a little faster. No, and Key was looking weak. Keep this. Oil look. Gold just broke below that 200. Now it's trying to retest it. Maybe retest it and drop. Yeah, it's looking weak. Here we go. It's kind of like exactly what it was doing on Friday, right? That slow drop, and then it would drop a little more, and then it would hang out and drop a little more. People think sometimes that downtrends, especially if you're intraday trading, trends in particular, sometimes you look at it after the fact and it just kept dropping or kept going up. You say, oh, that was so easy, but it's not, because if you miss it, you never know when it's going to reverse again or drop. If it's going up. So it's like you're always like second guessing it. Is it gonna just crash now? Is it gonna pop? Is it gonna reverse at any moment? So it's a little more difficult. So you got to get in and out in those, like if it's in a downtrend and those spikes up again to see if it comes down even more. Is this refresh on zone? Fake one like this. 200. It's always an area, right, where it's gonna find some liquidity. Daily home moves. Oh wow, this is nice. Tracking key market moves on the Iran war. This is in Bloomberg, and then it has a daily Hormuz ship transits, and it's showing the transits, and it says negative 103 ships. So, wow. Talking about this here. This is change shows the difference between the latest number of transits and those on the previous day. Of those and those on the previous day. February 27, Bloomberg monitors by commercial ships emitting signals in the Strait. Interesting. I think that's cool. See, data is important. All right, 5 minutes. Yep, we'll see. I wonder if there's like a.
If you wanna know what it's like, I can't stay here forever. Stay here forever. Baby, I'm just keeping it real. You hold me down on the weather. Down on the weather. Hold me down, 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 down. Try to turn it around, but you pull me down,
Slow grind down.
you pull me down,
Mm,
down, 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 try to turn it around.
let's see if I can have like a news feed. Like a RSS feed. I'm gonna work on something so I could have like an RSS feed that'll maybe I could keep it somewhere, on the side, and we could be watching, monitoring any news that might, pop up at the moment. Because we have that in the Discord, but sorry. Former U.S. Associate Deputy Energy Secretary Rhonda Fahmy warned that the ongoing middle. Investor on the bills in Iran war into the fifth week. Oh, there goes gold. Hitting this demand. And I'm thinking it's going to break this down and come right back down to that 4408. 4408. This is that 4 hour pivot. $801. So at 8, gold kind of like, okay, what's this? LME aluminum rises 5% after Iran strikes Middle East. See, these are nice little things to watch. You see, LME aluminum. So aluminum is another one to watch for the week. And equities keep dropping little by little. It's just like what happened on Friday. Just a small little, little by little sell off there. And oil catching a bit. Oil got rejected. Wow. Still slow grind down. I mean, there's still bad news, right? Now they have that issue in they have like some blackouts over there. I think they attacked the some power plant. So I don't know if that was the power plant that they said they were going to attack originally or what. Goes trying to get and break this supply here. So this would be a double top at 103.39, 38. There it is. That's what I was looking for, a supply zone. So on the 1 hour, we have a strong supply at 108. 30-minute, a little higher. All right. If we break this pivot, we're going to find some resistance around 105. Then we're on our way up. So oil, bottom left, gold, bottom right, top right, S&P 500 derivative, and the NQ, the Nasdaq derivative on the left. Bloomberg TV on the middle. I just want to see if we get any news there. So Nikkei 225 slumps as oil rises. Nikkei's also getting pressure against it too. Okay, this nice little pump here, right to the 9 EMA, right to where it broke structure. Let's see if this continues. Finds more buyers here to break out. Then I would say this fair value gap here, 23,195, and for the ES 6,380 will be a next level to find some resistance, and anywhere in here, most likely scalp it back down. Or if it finds some buyers, it'll just can break to that 50 EMA, and then we have this bigger trend line.
If you wanna know what it's like, I can't stay here forever. Baby, I'm just keeping it real. You hold me down on the weather, down on the weather. You hold me down.
Okay, getting some buyers. Every strong buying is going to be met with some, with sellers. And gold, little by little dropping, making Christian more richer. Making Christian richer. Houthis join Iran race. See, every pump is going to be met with selling. Gold breaks this, we're going back down to this 4,400.
Till you lose it all and don't give in. When it look like we're rolling, got you folding on my skin. Take a chance, this is You know what you won't quit. Hanging on a big bed. Don't know what before. You just hit it all loose. Don't you hide beat the stars until it's written. The
That gold trade was nice off this high here. See, once you see it doesn't make a higher high, that's always a nice sign that prices is gonna most likely drop. It's gonna reverse a bit. And the same thing at the bottom. If you see it doesn't make a lower low, then it's most likely gonna find some. See here, it had made a low, and then until it broke it down. But if it keeps finding, like higher up, then most likely it's gonna reverse there. So that's what I'm watching for. Oil could do the same. If it's trying, but if it can't, it's most likely gonna drop to fill this, come back down here, this imbalance it left. All right. Nice. Whoa, whoa, okay. Oil dumping. Let's see what we see here. Is there anything interesting going on in the news? Oh, just buyers stepping in. Okay, yeah, we got something. Breaking. Trump weighing military operation to extract nearly 1,000 pounds of uranium from Iran, per Wall Street Journal. Mission would likely put American forces inside the country for days or longer. Trump hasn't made a decision, considering the risk to U.S. troops, but remains generally open. Hmm, that's not good news. To extract, oh, uranium, huh? So now they're going after the uranium. Well, that's what they said they're there for, right? They don't want them to have to be able to
If you
build.
wanna know what
Right,
it's
sure.
like, I can't stay here
Henny, what's
forever.
up?
Stay here forever. Baby, I'm
Nice.
just keeping it real. You hold me
Thanks
down
for
under
joining, bro.
weather, down under weather. You pull me down, 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 down. Try to turn it around, but you pull me down, down,
So
down,
considering the risk,
down.
yeah. So I mean, that's what they said they were there originally for, right? To keep them from building a nuclear bomb. And oil is dropping, huh? You see what I'm saying? Once if it cannot break out, most likely, then traders see that and it drops. But this kind of pump here is interesting. And the oil dropping off of the, I don't know if it was off of that news or there's something else.
It's all across the sea.
If you guys hear anything, let me know.
Deep forever, wild and free. You never lie and weak, but I love it when we sleep.
Let me
Better
see.
than
Let
the
me get
best
out of
that
here.
could ever be. You pull me down, 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 down,
Whoa. Sorry.
you pull me down, 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 10 feet under the ground. You pull me down, 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 you pull me down, 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 10 feet under the ground. You pull me down, 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 down,
So there we go. Look, we hit this area, this fair value gap here, 50, fighting some sellers. But if we don't see a drop to come back down again here, we're gonna most likely break out to this downtrend line here. And the same for the ES. Let me take out these alerts here. Nice demand zone there. So if we drop, it's gonna find some support again where it's been finding around 98.50 for oil. Like we said, we've been dropping a lot. So you see gold is moving a bit with equity. So here we are filling in a bit this gap that was left. Oh, could it have been that? Just finish up filling this gap here to just go lower than now? Or will it find some support and go up higher to the golden pocket and this nice supply zone here that we spoke about? Let's see if I see anything here. Just that. So mission will likely put American forces inside the country for days or longer. Trump hasn't made a decision considering the risk of U.S. troops, but remains generally open to the idea. So this is the first time they're talking about uranium, or is it me? We've always been talking about oil and how it's affect how this is affecting the. But now they're talking about extracting 1,000 pounds of uranium. Here it is. If it eats up this candle again, then they just went up to fill this imbalance that was left at the open. We got a message here. They mentioned it last week. They want to take whatever nuclear material they bomb inside bunkers and around, which is technically stupid. Hi, thanks for the info. Yeah, I think they pretty much filled the gap to the tick. Look at that, except for the ES. ES hasn't yet. Need a couple more dollars, but if this doesn't come right back down, it can pop up. Yep. And I think that's their way of proving because people are saying that well maybe there wasn't anything, they weren't building anything, and they're always saying that the U.S. So if they do that, maybe that's just kind of like to show the world, hey, they did have uranium and they were trying to you know process it and do whatever they were with it. Maybe the Bronco bust on the spot. Iran was doing the enriching. Yeah, that was from the. So that's what they want to do. Then they want to get the uranium from the bunker buster they did. Okay, so then that makes sense. Yeah, they want to probably just show the world that they're that what they said was true. You know. They had a religious order since someone for saying us using nuclear weapons. Yeah, you see, that's the thing, man. There's always it's like an information war that we're going through as well. Like one person says one thing, another says another thing. Exactly, that's what I meant. What's the line since the 1980s? Yeah, yes, that's true though. And you know that it makes me think the liar, Winterfell. You know what makes me think? When I was in what was it, high school? No, I was in little before high school when all this crap was going on with the Cold War, with Russia and all that. They were always saying Russia could, they had people putting on masks, doing all these crazy like nuclear, like going, hiding in bunkers and doing all these practice set runs over here in the U.S. and they were scaring everyone. And sometimes I think, was that ever true? Was it just to kind of keep us in that Cold War with them? But that was not really true. Now that I'm older and seeing everything that's happening now, it's kind of like we said, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. So now I'm thinking something like that, because that's the way it was with. Here we go. Here goes the breakout there. Okay, so now we're heading to this here, 78.6 fib level, and this trend line that the algo's leaving there. Is crypto also dropping? No. Well, it dropped a bit. It came right back to support. Dipped below 2,000 again, Ethereum. Yeah, I mean, if there's ever I always say the same. If there's ever some nuclear, they don't want to do that. No one does. They throw a nuclear bomb, it's done. Everybody's dead. We're gone. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. Frontier Airlines 2539 has been isolated at Atlanta Airport for level 3 threat, possible hijacking and bomb threat. Lord have mercy. I don't even want to look at the news anymore. Massive fire burning at a petrochemical facility today. Trump's energy strike pause was supposed to last until, yeah, that's my point. Either this doesn't count as energy infrastructure or someone didn't get the memo. Last time the flight was averted because a guy had the Islamic prayer reminder on his phone. Oh, oh gosh. So nice little injection of buying. Hopefully we'll continue to find support here, this imbalance here, and then we'll go higher. We'll see. Which will be the opposite for oil, right? It will find some resistance here and drop. All right, another breaking news here. Several hundred U.S. Special Operations Forces, including Army Rangers and Navy SEALs, those are the big boys, have arrived in the Middle East as Trump weighs next moves in Iran. I mean, he sent them there. They're there. They're not there for just to like hang out. Have arrived in the Middle East and Trump weighs next moves in Iran. Per commandos have not been assigned specific missions yet. Could be deployed to safeguard the strait. Hold on, let me. Also breaking. That's the one I just read, right? Come on, exactly. So they're saying deploy to safeguard the Strait of Hormuz, or seize Karg Island, or target enriched uranium. So now we got three different areas. No way. Over 5,000 American troops now in the Middle East. 50,000, huh? 50,000 American troops in the Middle East right now, roughly 10,000 more than usual. Joins 2,500 Marines. Okay. Terrible. Yeah, season card. Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? We were, it was about the seas, right? So they can secure like where they're processing the oil, if I'm not mistaken. And now they're saying the thing, or are they gonna do all three? Something's gonna happen, guys. Maybe tonight. They're getting ready. They're getting ready. Here's that 4 hour pivot that we kind of almost tapped on the NQ. What's up, Becco? Things about to pop off. Wonderful. Gotta pray. We gotta pray for this whole world, guys. You know, we just have to pray. Yeah, I do. Cash, silver, gold. You think about it, right? You try to find so many ways to protect your assets, everything you have, and it's all electronic, right? Like the grid, the power goes down, everything goes down. Where you don't have access to that. It doesn't matter how much money you have or anything. It doesn't matter anymore. We're all in a level playing field. So you need to have something. Yeah, I've thought about that a lot. Yeah. So here, oil. This was that little spike in the open. So now that I'm looking at it, look, it came and filled it. It filled it up nice. So yeah, this could definitely now come back up and start trying to break out. So if this continues to just stay up here, it gets weaker and then it'll most likely drop and then give us some time for this to consolidate and pop. Like I said, the after such a drop in equities, it will make sense for it to kind of like relax a bit and go back up just to to make a higher low and then make a lower low again. Because we're definitely in a bit on a very big downtrend below the 200, and I think even below the 200 weekly on equity. So that's not good. Agree 100%. Also, Friday ending at the low is usually what happens if it's big bad news over the weekend. Yeah. Yeah, which should be fine. If it wants to even drop a little more tonight so it can hit that 4 hour, 1 hour, so, those 1 hour, that those bigger levels on the 1 hour or the daily. So then we have a nice move up. Okay, Trump on Cuba. Within a short period of time, Cuba is going to fail. We will be there to help out. On Russian oil tanker heading to Cuba, I have no problem with it, whether it's Russia or not. Okay, Big Daddy Trump. And they're clear at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Probably lit back. Yeah. Yeah, if nothing, if we stay down here, I mean, we really haven't really moved anywhere. If we go to a bigger time frame, we really haven't done much. We're like in this range here, in this box here, right? There's that 4 hour, I think it was a 4 hour pivot. Yeah, right there. Demand zone, sorry. Here's a demand here. This is where they were overlapping. That's why I put it there. But this demand goes all the way down to this pivot down here. And so I want to call it 22,800. Below that, it is bad. So you know what? I'm going to put another pivot. I'm going to put another line here. Right there. That's like ugly if it breaks that. So there we go. This could literally continue to come back up here, then make a lower low, and keep on, so clear downtrend. There it is rejecting that 50 there. I would much rather sell the pumps, sell a pump on this big downtrend than try to fade this. So let me give you because I might get off in a few. I've been on since 6, so this is what I'll do. Let's look at this on the 30-minute. So it's creating some structure here, but I want to see some targets. This is definitely a supply there, 6,300. Anything in 1 hour? Okay. All right. So I want to say 6,300 is a nice level for it to want to go to. Levels on the way up are gonna be these fib levels, right? Fib, then this 50% range with the golden pocket near this demand zone, supply zone. Sorry. Then I would say 6,300 is the next level down, a strong level for it to kind of like find some support there. But on the way up, those are your levels there. I would say any levels that overlap with the fib are even stronger, right? Then we have NQ. Obviously, we have this 4 hour, and then the levels on the way up. So if you guys want to see that, this is a very to me, if this level breaks to the upside, that's bullish for tonight and tomorrow, or maybe gapping up tomorrow. If it breaks this 23,520 on the Nasdaq, if we break this 4 hour here, every breakdown is going to be met with a little bit of buying until it continues to break down. And then oil, as we know, oil needs to break this pivot at 103.38, that last swing high that it created. So then we go into this demand zone up here, 104, 105, and then 108. And gold, we're on our way down. It's rejecting the two. It came back up. If it rejects here, then we're coming back down to that, 4408, which I called it earlier, and then 4400. So those are my levels. I'll be here tomorrow at 8 p.m. So we'll see what the market does overnight, and then tomorrow, just always be safe. If you do any For anybody that's new, I know some of you have your strategies, like Christian said, but just be careful. Always, overnight, if you're gonna put on a trade, put a stop just in case there's a big spike, right? A spike in either direction. So put your stops, put your profit targets, or at least put your stops. All right. So no new news there coming out. So I think I'm gonna call it there for tonight, guys. I've been on since like 2 hours 45 minutes. I don't know. Maybe if I continue seeing Sundays, if it's the open is kind of boring, maybe I'll just get on at 8, like I do on the weekdays, and then we can continue to 10 because at 8 things pick up. Okay. But thanks for joining me, and bring your questions for you newer futures traders. Bring your questions. I want to help. I'm here to help. I'm here to chart out. If you have any you want to make any decisions on a trade overnight, it's not financial advice, but we could look at the chart together, right? And we could see what are the possibilities, what are the higher probabilities, right, of it going either way. And then I'll mark my levels as always. So with that being said, good night, guys. Okay, thanks for joining, and we'll see each other soon. Like, subscribe. We have our private Discord with through Hot Trades. So if you want to join Hot Trades, there we have everything. We cover not only futures, stocks, options, stock options, long term, short term, swing trading. A bit of everything. So how we going, Sean? You're welcome, buddy. Thanks for joining. Have a good one. Good night.